Hey everybody, so today I am coming to you from the largest city in Northern California. And you might be thinking, oh, you mean San Francisco? Well, that's wrong. The largest city in Northern California is actually San Jose, which is known as the capital of Silicon Valley. Also, there is a house on wheels behind me. I've actually been staying in San Jose for a couple weeks now, and so I've become pretty familiar with the area, but I have some time to myself this afternoon, and so I figured why not make a video about it. And for anyone who's never been to California, it's a lot like Florida, except good. San Jose is about an hour away from San Francisco. It's at the very southern end of the San Francisco Bay, whereas San Francisco is kind of at the northern end of it. And between the two cities are about a dozen evil corporations that'll take over the world. Just look at how many palm trees there are on this street. These people have no idea how good they have it. The Bay Area is right next to the San Andreas Fault, as well as some other faults. And so because of that, there is a major earthquake here every 30 years or so, give or take. And so being here kind of feels like playing a big game of Russian roulette. Although with that being said, if it happens while I'm outside, I'm not too disappointed. One thing that you notice around here is just how much single-family housing there is. I think I read recently that like 85% of the residential land in the Bay Area is dedicated to single-family housing, which is honestly very impressive, even by American standards. I think if you so much as think about putting up an apartment around here, somebody comes over and shoots you in the face. Now, having said that, the Bay Area actually does a really good job of providing public transportation. It has a bunch of trains and buses that you can use for pretty cheap. All you need is this Clipper card that allows you to pay for pretty much all of it. Yeah, if you're planning to visit the US and you don't want to rent a car, this is honestly one of the best places to do it outside of like the Northeast. I hope that this guy is the last thing that remains after civilization ends. Now over there is the stadium where the San Jose Sharks play. Now, me personally, I don't watch them. I'm kind of scared of sharks. Here we are in the center of town, and right through the center of town is the Guadalupe River, one of California's many rivers that doesn't have enough water in it. Right now I'm walking through somewhere called the San Pedro Square Market. It's got a bunch of bars and restaurants and cafes over on my left. It's the type of place you go to for live entertainment, and you see a band there and they're like, well, these guys are pretty mediocre, but they're free, so they're pretty nice to watch. That's the type of place this is. Well, I was planning to eat some Mexican food here, but I see that they have a Nepali place. I think I'll go check that out instead. I hear those guys overthrew their government. Well, I ordered some chicken biryani, and right next to it I have a cup of water. Can't have one without the other. All right, I'm slowly but surely making my way through this. I've already had to cough it up like twice because of how fucking spicy it is. Actually, it's not that spicy. It's more just that I'm a pussy when it comes to spicy shit. It's good stuff. I plan to start a food vlog soon where I eat a bunch of spicy food and then I suffer tremendously through it. And then I go, that was pretty good. Obviously, California is known as a very homeless place. But from my experience, there really don't seem to be too many homeless people in San Jose, especially not compared to like San Francisco. Compared to like the rest of the US, I would say that San Jose is like the average amount of homeless. So there's a lot going on in this painting. You have red pandas hanging out with normal pandas, which I don't think happens in the wild. I might be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. But what I know is bullshit is there's no way any panda has ever been this active. does the Bay Area have a bunch of public transportation, but it's also very clean. I've got to give it to them on that. You'd think that like California's public transportation would be way dirtier than it is, but it's not. It's nice. San Jose is home to the Improv, which is a very popular comedy club. And I went here last week to try to do their open mic, which was a fun show. But unfortunately, there were, I believe, 75 people who signed up for it, and only 20 people got to perform. And I was not one of those people. So I did not get to tell my Charlie Kirk jokes. Over here you have a dragon, and over here you have a shark. And that's proof that sharks are bigger than dragons. Here we've got the San Jose Museum of Art, and right in front of it we've got some free samples. I get the sense that San Jose is trying to be one of those weird cities like Austin. It is now, I believe, 20 minutes later, and I think I've finally recovered from that mildly spicy food. San Jose is also something of a college town because it has San Jose State University, which we are currently on the way to. This isn't even like that prominent of a college, but it's still fucking beautiful. My only complaint about it is that it doesn't have that many squirrels. Usually that's a highlight of visiting a college. I have someone standing here on the first place platform and on the third place one, but not on the second place one. I'm guessing that's the point, but I don't know. Some guy just asked me to sign his petition. It was a petition to help keep the water clean. And kind of reflexively, I just said no. But looking back on it, I do feel kind of bad for not signing that petition. Because now if California's water gets dirty, that's kind of on me. Found a squirrel. As I've mentioned, I've been here for a couple weeks now. And there was one day when it was cloudy. But every other day has been exactly like this. It's been exactly this sunny and exactly this hot. And some people love that. Some people want no variety in their weather. And I think that's fine. But at the same time, I think that I should be respected for only wanting Papa John's pizza at every meal. Over there in the distance, you can see the headquarters for Adobe. I heard that building is full of PDF files. That was a bad one. I'm waiting at the bus stop. I noticed an advertisement for not doing drugs. Seems to be a problem out here. You know, I think that in general, violence in big cities is overrated and not that big of a problem. But with that being said, I am thankful for every time that I use a bus and I don't get stabbed. I guess one thing that I have noticed about California is that their yards are pretty small compared to the rest of the United States. And I think part of that is because, you know, land is simply so valuable here. And I think it's also partly because the water is so scarce here that they can't really do much with the yards anyway. But either way, having small yards allows for greater population density, which is one of the things that lets public transportation be so good. It's pretty common for people here to have a fruit tree in their yard. So there are plenty of people in California who just have an infinite supply of one particular fruit. And I think that's awesome. Well, it's now a little later in the day, and I am currently in the town of Los Altos. Now, this is one of the many small towns that exist throughout, Silicon Valley. This one in particular is very nice. And the way that it kind of goes is like you have like the center of town that has like a bunch of, you know, ritzy stores, and then from there you have some nice hiking nearby. That's kind of the general formula of all of Silicon Valley. So we'll explore some of that for the latter half of the day. From what I can tell, this is a particularly wealthy corner of Silicon Valley. I was here last week and exploring town, and I came across a huge house that had security cameras everywhere and its own security car. And so I looked it up later, and it was probably one of the houses owned by one of the Google guys. Most of the towns in Silicon Valley are right along a railroad, and you can take a train from one to the other. Unfortunately, Los Altos is not one of those towns. You do need a bus to get here, but luckily it's worth it because there are mountains right next to it that are worth checking out. You know that this is a good town because this bathroom that's out in the public park is clean and stocked with toilet paper. Thank God. Walking through a nearby trail, and there are plenty of redwoods around here. These are some of the most common trees throughout California. And there's a squirrel down there. I was just walking along and ripped a big fart. Then I noticed that there was someone right behind me. Rarely do I feel shame or embarrassment, but that might be one of those moments. A lot of the people who live in Los Altos live in neighborhoods like this that are up in the mountains. So a lot of hiking here is just walking between rich people's houses on this sort of street. There are even farm stands here, which means you can buy fruits or honey or books. This fire hydrant looks like a minion. Looks like somebody very, very rich lives over there. We don't want to piss him off, so let's keep walking. It's weird to see a place in the Bay Area where people just have huge plots of land. So that means that the people here are some of the richest people in the world. Yet they have sidewalks that look like this. I found another community farm stand. This one's called Community Farm Stand 2. I think it was meant to be. Alright, well, I have a little bit of energy still left in me after today's adventures, so I'm walking to the next town, which is called San Antonio, and that's where the next train is going to be, so I'm going to take that all the way back. Even the suburbs in California are beautiful. Can't really say that about most states. Well, I made it back from today's adventures. I was happy to show off more of the Bay Area that doesn't get quite the attention that San Francisco gets. That was only a small fraction of it. There's so much incredible nature and hiking out there, as well as cute little towns to check out. So yeah, next time that you think about going to San Francisco, consider going to San Jose as well. But make sure it's the San Jose in California and not the one in Costa Rica, because that is very far away from it. And that other one is kind of a shithole. All right, see ya.